everybody.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
How you doing, Evan?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
We're awesome. This is Christine, by the way. I didn't introduce y'all. I'm sorry. I'm a bad
Nice to meet
host.
you, Evan.
Nice to meet you, Christine.
Evan is with the wholesale side of the CBD Gurus, and he has had a, I'll just give everybody that might not have seen our #1 video last week. He's had a background of owning a nutrition store and been in the nutrition business for a very long time. And therefore, he was able to integrate this into his business, which was actually brick and mortar, and watched what this product, the CBD Guru specifically brand, was able to do and the way it performed for his customers. So it made him a believer, and now he works with the CBD Gurus. So
Yes.
that's a little bit about Evan. If y'all didn't catch last week, and if you didn't, you might want to go back and see it because it was about the super immunity. All right, everybody should watch that. So,
Yep, definitely.
All right. We're going to educate a little bit on the chocolates. One of my favorite things, y'all. I love chocolate.
Yeah, everybody likes chocolate, right?
And I do dark chocolate. I'm not a milk chocolate girl. I was milk chocolate for a long time. And then you hit this certain age and it's like, oh, dark chocolate is so much better.
Yeah. I sell more milk chocolate, but it goes in waves. It kind of depends.
I didn't know there was a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like there is, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Some people think milk is a little bit smoother than the dark, but I mean, they both sell. It just depends on the person and sometimes the time of the year too, I think matters. But yeah, it's very, some people don't even, and we were out of one of the flavors for a little while, but some people don't even care. Chocolate's chocolate for some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Milk chocolate's got a lot more sugar to it. And it's a lot, it's creamier, whereas dark chocolate's got a little more bitter and it's a little bit more stable. It's thicker.
It's more pure would be I always say the dark chocolate is more pure, which you hear a lot of different things out there in the industry on how dark chocolate can be good for you in moderation. So
okay.
Dang, that moderation is the deal. But I will tell y'all, if it comes from the CBD Gurus, you better have just plain dark chocolate in your pantry if you're having a chocolate craving, because the moderation part is on point with these. Just going to say that.
That is key. I mean, you can do as much as you want. You can do as much as you want, but you want to do less and work your way up. Like a lot of things in CBD, in my opinion, definitely.
And I'll just so you can make sense with this, y'all. I don't have a ruler in here, but this bar is that size. So it's about the width of my pinky.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't have huge hands. I'm just a 5'1" girl. So I'm not like super huge. And now this is me personally, because of what I have found works for my body weight.
Yep.
I break mine that way. And then I break it that way. And it comes into 4 pieces. And that gives me 4 nights of amazing sleep.
Yep.
That's
right. Yeah, there are 15 milligrams of THC per chocolate, which doesn't seem possible because the chocolate is so small. But yeah, it's definitely a moderation thing, like you mentioned. I tell people you can do whatever you want, but it's easy to say, oh, let's have the whole thing, the whole chocolate bar. You might be a little bit foggy the next day if you're doing it later in the day.
Now, Evan, I have a question for those that maybe work in an area where possibly of testing. Will that show up in a test?
No, it should not. The main thing is I really watch what I say on that, because people can do way more, and then it would maybe show up on a test. We haven't ever ran into that.
If they did the rule of thumb, like what Trina did, the snapping. Okay.
It'll be fine. It's just follow the serving size, which we don't always do on a lot of things. So, or the breakdown. But no, I get that question frequently on the phone, on calls, and then also on emails too. So very, very common. And yeah, you're right. It's something you want to be aware of. But start small and work your way up on both the Delta 8 and the Delta 9.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good segue right there. Let's talk about the difference in a Delta 8 and a Delta 9.
Okay. Yeah, like the Delta 8, we have the gummies, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard on you guys' show and, just by researching things and on the news or whatever. The Delta 8 is not always, but generally used for sleep. It's supposed to be a little bit less THC than the Delta 9. The Delta 9 is going to be more so for pain for a lot of people, is what they use it for, but you can use it for sleep. But if someone calls me and wants something for sleep, I would always go to the Delta 8 just because that's what we've had best luck with. We have the gummies, which are the Delta 8, 30-count gummies sell well, which I'm sure you guys have spoken on those in the past. And then the Delta 9 is like the super full spectrum gummies, which is 5 milligrams of THC per gummy. But yeah, the Delta 9, I would say, is more for pain. So there is people that do that during the day. I would say the first time you do the chocolates, kind of know what your day is going to set up. Don't do anything different. Make sure you do them at home. Or, just because everybody feels different on things. Yeah. It's like we talked last time. Everybody's cup of caffeine is different. People react to things differently. And that's my rule of thumb through nutrition too. You just got to make sure you're setting your body up because we all weigh a different amount. We all are used to different things. And that would be my main thing when it comes to Delta 8 and Delta 9. Delta 9 all comes from one plant, so it can be known as more potent. But I hear both when I'm talking to people on the phone. Some people think the 8's more potent, but I would always say, and Matt and Lucas would agree, 8 is generally, a lot of people use it for later in the day before bed, or they do it after work to kind of calm down or whenever your day ends. Everybody's got different schedules. And then the Delta 9 is, some people do that for pain because it's like the gummies, Delta 9, I have people that do them in the morning or early afternoon. Maybe they're trying to get off something they don't want to be on or how they don't like how they feel. So that's the best way of explaining it. But I also will encourage you, and I can do orders for Trina over the phone, people calling in and telling me what their situation is, and then we can direct you down the right path.
Absolutely. I will just give a testimony on the difference in the 8 and 9 for me, like with the gummies. I've never ordered the 8 in the chocolate. I've just always had the Delta 9s because I had done the gummies between the Delta 8 and Delta 9. The Delta 8 gives you really great sleep, but because of inflammation in my body, I do better with the Delta 9s, even for sleeping, because it works on the inflammation while I'm asleep. And we know that's when our body kind of kicks in and starts repairing at a cellular level.
Yep.
But I also, with a Delta 8, have kind of not a hangover, but it takes me about an hour and a half or 2 hours to get really good and awake when I do get up, especially if I had to get up early.
Yep.
So I kind of am groggy a little bit more after that, if that makes sense.
And that's what I hear a lot of people. That's why the Delta 8, I had, it really works good, but I took too much and I had to be up at 5:30 or my son woke me up or my daughter woke me up or my dog or whatever cat. I'm like, you just really got to, don't put it by your bedstand either because you don't want your kids getting into it or anything like that. But it tastes good. It's easy just to say, I'll just have a little bit more. If you wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, it's easy to do. And we like you using it as a CBD Gurus customer, but we don't want you to overdo it. And then the next day you feel like you're dragging a plow.
Yeah.
And then you're going to more caffeine, nothing against caffeine, or then you can't sleep at the next night. And then it's a cycle, a vicious cycle for sleep, and like, I think sleep's probably the most important thing. Even when I own my nutrition store, I always focused on sleep, that, and, making sure people start off the day with, a good meal or, always, keep like you're doing, drinking water throughout the day for hydration. That stuff's all crucial, but it really is. The sleep is huge. And we all have different things going on in our life where sleep can be interrupted. It's just when you are sleeping, you want to make sure you're getting that REM sleep. And that's why the 8 has worked a lot. But I also hear people that really like the 9, so it's a trial and error by people. Sorry, my dog in the background playing.
Mine's sleeping.
Yeah, this one is not young enough to sleep. But it depends on the person and what they're used to. A lot of times, a lot of them have done 8 and 9 gummies, and then they kind of know what way they want to go. But if they're new to it, we'll definitely we'll help you with getting the right.
Now, Evan, for like those who maybe have arthritis, and taking the 9, does that, I know it's for pain, but does it help restore, or how does it help arthritis?
Yeah, it should just help reduce all your inflammation, the 9. And then, it's something like we've talked before is a cumulative effect, but, reducing the inflammation throughout your body, and then things start to react better. You feel better. Like the Miracle Gold oil, I think is something everybody should take with the black seed oil. Because, it's something you can make it as a daily routine with a super immunity, like we spoke of last week, or a vitamin. But just bringing down the inflammation of your body, everything is going to start working better. Your energy levels might go up. You make better decisions on, you're more productive at work, or you don't eat that. Maybe you shouldn't eat that. You have less cravings. So yeah, that's kind of the rule of thumb I've always gone by. If that's, a generalized statement, but I feel that's, pretty common across the board.
I think also when I've done a little research and reading on the endocannabinoid system, and I believe that having that one strain from the Delta 9,
Yeah. It's not combined.
Yeah, I feel that my body reacts to that.
Yep.
In my inflammation, like in my joints and stuff, that I just feel like it affects our nerves. I think that endocannabinoid system works in tandem with calming the nerves. Does that make sense?
We lost him.
He'll come back. So what we were trying to do is make sure everyone understands what's going on with, I'm going to remove him till he comes back. What goes on with the chocolates. You can buy the whole bar that's 24 squares, or you can buy the individual squares. I actually have the individual squares just because I'd make a mess, because you do not need to eat the whole bar of chocolate, or you will have something besides just crazy dreams. Because at one point, I know I did not break mine evenly, and it was like a bigger chunk than normal. And therefore, that night, it wasn't crazy dreams necessarily. It was just, I knew something different all night long was just, it was just more than what my body needed. And I do not do or use the chocolates or gummies for anything other than trying to make my system operate better and feel better. And I do not want on pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories. And I've finally gotten it to where I only take like no aspirin. I do the Miracle Gold in the daytime. If I start, I do one of those droppers in the mornings, no matter what. But like in the middle of the day, I'll do like a half a dropper if I feel like I need, and like I would go take 2 ibuprofen. I replace that with the Miracle Gold because I'm just truly trying to get away from it. Yep. And after learning what your endocannabinoid system, I mean, honestly, y'all, have you ever been taught that in school? Have y'all ever heard that word? And yeah, I'm talking to the audience out there. I know you two probably have heard about it. Yeah. But Christina and I were actually talking about it because she goes, no, behind the scenes, we had talked about it before, because I'd heard nothing about it until I really started, a relationship with the CBD gurus. And I thought, this is interesting. How have we never known about this? How did doctors not know about this? How come when I approached my husband's ortho doctor when he had his shoulder replaced, that this doctor's like, yeah, we weren't really educated on that, but I could see where it could be very beneficial.
Yeah. It makes you make better choices. Sorry about my internet. Kicked me off there for a little bit.
That's okay. I have internet issues all the time.
Yeah,
it's okay.
We've had a lot of internet issues lately. But yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. It's kind of knowing that type of stuff can make everything a lot different. It's just, like nutrition in general. I think there's a lot of things that people, there's a lot of different misinformation out there. Things work for different people too. But I agree with you. You gotta know sometimes knowing that stuff can help you more than anything. More
Well,
just a supplement.
I think that's the level of where our show goes back to giving power to the people over their body and their health choices. Because if any of you go see a doctor on a regular basis, like you have, a monthly or a quarterly, like my husband has to go to the endocrinologist every quarter because he's a type 1 diabetic.
Yep.
Have you ever asked your doctors how much in med school they were taught on nutrition? How many actual hours did they take out of all their medical school that they were taught nutrition? The number one thing for your body to make you healthy or to cause you ailments is your nutrition.
Yep.
And I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to be very careful what we say there, because nutrition usually ends up getting me in more trouble on YouTube than talking about cannabis. I mean, what kind of world? I mean, that's the world we're living in right now, y'all.
Yeah. And that's usually the root of all evil. A lot of our issues is even I've had people that when I had my store that would eat certain diets and stuff, follow certain plans, but some things, like even healthy things like a chicken and broccoli, or they're eating spinach and stuff, but some bodies reject that, because we're all different. There's a test called out there, the LCAT, which is a blood test you can do, and it tells you a food panel on what you're sensitive to. So that also can play a factor in. You might be thinking you're eating healthy. That's why you got to listen to your body. It's kind of like you do in the CBD gurus. You really need to, products wise, might work for Jane, but it might not work for John. It's not always across the board. I feel like the Miracle Gold is one of the things in super immunity works for about everybody the same, but it depends on what they're focusing on. But it's really different for everybody. And that's why I think it is good to know your body and how you react. We know how we feel after certain foods. We all probably feel different, but sometimes we're probably feeling the same if you eat a lot of carbs or later at night, or nothing against carbs or anything like that. I'm not getting into that, because everybody's got their own way of doing it, how much you work out or how active you are and whatnot. But there's definitely more to it. And that's the root on where a lot of sometimes our issues can start.
Now, Evan, when you start eating healthy, is there such a thing as your body is so used to eating crap that your body feels different eating the healthy chicken and the healthy broccoli, that it maybe takes a few times a month? The clean eating?
Yeah, just to get your receptors clean and get it adjusted. I've also done things where people do the same diet all the time too, and eat 10 chicken breasts a week and broccoli, and then they'll have a cheat meal or whatever. And they'll do the same thing, but then when their body goes and they go on vacation, they eat whatever they want. And then the body's like, wow, this is different. And it holds on to it. So that's another thing I tell people, don't do the same thing. In my opinion, I've done the chicken and broccoli. You do the same thing, and then the minute you get off of it, balloon up and retain water, and because your body's like, oh, wow, this is something different. So it's good to say, our lives are busy too. It's easy to not eat enough too. There's a lot of people that don't eat enough. We're all busy. No matter if it's us three here, or if it's we all have busy lives with kids and family and business and whatever's going on. But it is important to make sure we get some type of food in, and just try to look at the labels, I guess, and not to get into the, that part, but that'll make your CBD stuff work even better, I feel, and sometimes we late at night, someone takes a ton of sugar in and then they take a sleep gummy. Well, it might not work as well. You know what I mean? That's because
my weakness is crunch.
You just need something for,
I need Doritos.
Yeah. I mean, we all have it. Yeah.
It's that crunch, the chip. That is my weakness.
You need to actually eat something and not. Yeah. And I don't want to like, I just want to drink all my meals. I'm like, I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah. And I've done let me try celery. Yeah. It's just not the same, Evan.
No. Unless with peanut butter, it's all right.
And I put peanut butter on my celery. I thought, okay, this is good. I can try that. But crunch is my weakness.
Yep. Yeah, we all have it too. I mean, sometimes you get in the habit of, I always try to do like a shake throughout the day and drink BCAAs, and then do like my CBD stuff in the morning, and at night eat, but you don't want to overeat then too. It's just, and when I was in my store, I wasn't able to eat. I didn't want to be eating a mouthful of food and people coming in. Nothing, or heat your food up and like, oh, what are you eating in the back? So, I mean, everybody's job is different. A lot of people work from home now too, which I'm probably home 80% of the time if I'm not at meetings and down at the warehouse helping out, doing stuff. But, and then you really got to know your surroundings. And I think a lot of people have dealt with that. And that's why a lot of people's inflammation is higher the last 2 or 3 years with everything going on.
Yes.
Is eating from home. It's easy just to, I'll just walk over to the pantry and back, and trying to have a good routine on that. And that's why I always not lecture, but I, take the stuff that you buy from, no matter if it's CBD Gurus or someone else, make sure you take it and give it a shot and do it every day, and make sure you're consistent with taking it. So you start seeing the effects of.
Now you mentioned shake. Is there a particular shake that you recommend that has the nutrients that we need?
I mean, it depends if the person is good with whey, dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I own a NutriShop, which is a franchise in California, a sports nutrition, and we had a protein called the Protein 7, which was made by Vitasport, VITASPORT. And I have a few other recommendations too, and we're going to end up having more options for CBD Gurus too. But that's 34 grams of protein per scoop, 2 carbs and no sugar. So, I know personally I do that in the mornings.
That's the Protein 7 or the Diet Sport?
The Protein 7. It's called the Vitasport Protein 7.
Vitasport Protein 7. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and that's whey. And some people aren't good with dairy, and a lot of, especially women, and their hormones are different than guys. So women, there's some good vegan options that have come a long ways. When I first opened my store in 2012, the vegan stuff tasted like gravel. Now
it's worse than gravel.
Yeah, and now it's evolved a lot. Sorry, I got a buddy here.
Oh, we're a dog friendly show. So
yeah, she's a puppy. So, but hey, sit down, bud. But definitely it can make a difference on how your body reacts. I tell people if you don't feel well after a whey protein, probably would recommend maybe trying the vegan then. Not that you're a vegan diet, but it's just probably the dairy that you're not reacting well to. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is that a meal replacement for you? Is that your morning thing?
Yeah, for breakfast, that's a good meal replacement. I mean, you still can eat stuff, and there's good meal replacements like a Muscle-Lean, it's called. That's more of a meal replacement that has some more fat in there, and then it has a little bit higher in carbs, because you need carbs to operate. But I feel like some people get bogged down with the carbs, and I notice even people that I ask me when they call in, what do you recommend? Because they know my background and with the CBD stuff. And sometimes some of these people are eating a lot of sugar and a lot of carbs, and that is going to make them feel the brain fog is going to be a lot, maybe higher.
Okay.
But like I said, I don't want to generalize, because some people, there's athletes that can eat 8,000 calories a day. And, I don't know how many times a person works out. If they're under 30, they have probably a different metabolism than us. But everybody's different. Where they live, and they see the sunshine more. We don't always see the sun where I'm at. Today is out, as you can tell. But and vitamin D is a big factor too. That's another thing I always recommend: vitamin D for everybody. That's always a good thing.
In this day and age of still dealing with certain illnesses, vitamin D has been very important on this journey the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, for everybody. Yep. So
yes.
If you work from home,
Yeah. And just to give everybody that is still hanging out with us today a little precursor, the CBD Gurus, I am hearing rumors that they're working on products that will include some vitamins with them. So
yeah,
that's something new to hang on to and anticipate and look forward to. And if you are a shake person, that's how you get your nutrition, maybe for breakfast or lunch, especially if you're on location at a job and it's easier just to, have a bottle of water and pour it in, because I did a ton. We used to have I worked with a company called Team National. We had tea and shakes, and we lost a ton of weight, and they actually were sugar-free with stevia, and they were pretty organic the way they were made.
Yep.
We loved them. But the one thing I know now is I could have took the powder, my CBD powder, and put a scoop of the powder in there to help with the inflammation in my body throughout the day, instead of just depending on the Miracle Gold if I needed something at lunch to add it into the shake.
Yeah, like the CBD and collagen powder that we have, that's natural. I throw that in my shake in the morning. And I would recommend a lot of people. Collagen's good for a lot of things. When I had my store, Collagen was I had the collagen in the same area as I had the CBD, which is the most popular shelf I had in my shelves. I should say I had in my store, and the most profitable shelves because of the repeat business. But a lot of people with CBD knew collagen. They've come a long ways also on the flavors. Like I mentioned, vegan stuff wasn't very good. I think our collagen doesn't have all our collagen is flavorless, but the flavor is not like sometimes unflavored doesn't always mean unflavored. The one that Lucas came up with and Matt is very, very good. Has very good amount of, very concentrated too. So it doesn't take a lot to put in your shake. You know, the highest one is like 4,800 milligrams, I think. And it has the CBD in there and the collagen, the CBDA.
Well, I'll have to add that to my next order because I haven't gotten the collagen yet. I've just got the actual CBD powder. So that'll have to be on my wish list next time.
It's good for hair, skin, and nails and everything like that.
Yes. And I had been taking an outsourced collagen. So that's great to know that product has come on board since the last time I placed my order. I believe that kind of wraps up pretty much everything that I had questions or we were going to cover with the milk chocolate and the dark chocolate. I am going to try to share the screen. So if anybody wants to look at the product, they can. You can go to you can go to the wholesale portion of the CBD Gurus. And can y'all see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm just going to scroll and you just put in right here at the wholesale side, you can click on my name and I'm already in that actual portion. It tells you what they'll give you on the dinar, if you can get dinar or Bolivar, depending on how much you buy. And the Bolivar right now is still available with your purchase. And these are the sales for the week, but they will be changing.
Yep.
At
They're
8 a.m. It's 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, right?
Yeah, sometimes we do Friday, but it always says on the top if you like the day to change so people know. But keep an eye on Friday, Saturdays for that. Changing Friday, Saturdays, we're very busy. And then call me or email me if you want to do an order for Trina. I'll do it for you over the phone and I'll answer your questions. I try to answer every call that I can, and always get back to them if they text me. I know I had a bunch last week that called me. Even some that called and they said, hey, I ordered through Trina. How do I take X, Y, and Z? Not a question, not a problem to do that. And then my email is Evan, EVAN, at thecbdgurus.com. And then my work number is 612-816-3172. I'll do it again, 612-816-3172. And then Evan, EVAN, at thecbdgurus.com. Email me with questions. I always check my email. I'm used to doing that with questions on anything, on how we can help you. And then, Trina's got a lot of things going on. This is my focus. I can definitely do orders for her. If you're not comfortable with the website or you want to know what else we have, call me. It's not a problem.
Awesome. We thank you so much, Evan. And all the links are down below. His number's down below. His email's down below.
Shopping list.
Yep.
My wholesale information's there about how you do it and how you put it in at the end if you don't want to talk to somebody. With that being said, if you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, a like, and over on Rumble, we would love to have your rumbles because it helps this information get circulated with more people. And one other thing I want to mention is a lot of people know that they need to get like chlorine dioxide to keep in their home because it serves certain purposes to have in your medicinal cabinet. It is on sale through My Patriot Supply. Down below is the link. Click on it. It's 50% off till March 6th, y'all.
Oh,
you can get Part A and Part B for $9.99. So I'm just saying, if that's something that you feel like you should keep in your home right now, there's other stuff on sale. But that's the one that stood out to me. That is the cheapest I've ever seen chlorine dioxide.
Yeah, it's
in
very
a long
good.
time. So you used to probably sell that in your store. Isn't that a great deal on that?
Yeah, very good. And like you mentioned, the price on that's good. And the prices for that Trina's offering you with her wholesale.
Yeah.
I used to sell this stuff, and they still sell this stuff in stores for much higher because they have overhead and stuff like that. So the prices are very hard to beat. I'm not just saying that. I know other people that are in the industry know that too, but our prices and our quality, Lucas and Matt, Kevin, those guys have done a really good job. They're continuing to evolve and add more things. But I would highly, if you have friends too, give them my number, and if they use Trina's password, which is her name backwards, correct?
Yes.
And then we can call, and they can do an order that way too. I get referrals all the time, and that's the best. I feel the best way to grow a business organically, and I know that's what they've done, and that's how I did my store. So
awesome.
And obviously success, or people saying, I slept really good last night. Wow, what do you have? And that's what I had. I sold a ton of the sleep gummies without THC in my store, and a lot of it was referral based. I didn't ask for them always. They just said, hey, my friend buys this. I knew what it was right away. So that's another thing, that if you like something, help Trina out, Christina out, refer people. We like that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Evan. And
no problem.
Hopefully we'll have Evan back next week. And I think we're going to hit and highlight Miracle Gold, because everybody wants that.
Everybody needs to be on that.
Yes. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great evening.
Everybody.
We'll see you tonight at 7.
Nice meeting you. All right.
Cocktails ready.
Yep. Give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.